What's up, good people? Welcome to the Bro Code Show. It's your boy, Mr. YM4C, aka Bro Troy. And tonight's show is sponsored by the Raleigh Firebirds pro basketball team. Shout out to Wade Harris, owner of the Raleigh Firebirds, also owner of Raleigh Personal Training Physical Training Center. Be aware that the regular season for the Firebirds, it starts next month. All home games will be played at the Dream Center off Fox Road in Raleigh, North Carolina. Purchase those tickets at www.raleighfirebirds.net or call 919-830-0305. So tonight's all about the bros. We call it the Rehash. Tonight we'll take a moment to recap last month's conversation where we talked about the method to the madness and set the stage for this month's conversation, which is all about relationships, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But tonight we have a special guest, the man, the myth, and the legend, Mayor of Apex, North Carolina, Jacques Gilbert. Now, for those who have never had a Bro Code experience, the Bro Code Show is a live talk show created to discuss, uncover, justify, and dismantle the issues that concern us most as brothers, as family, and as a community. And we like to give that to you raw, uncut, and real respectful. Now, our greatest desire is to embrace everyone in positive, popular conversation. So no, we're not in the business of bashing, belittling, or shaming anyone, but we do believe in being comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. Because we believe that's where understanding starts. So as Grandma would say, it's chew the meat and spit out the bone. Real quick, we need your help. So if you're watching, please like and share this post right now. So for the people that are watching, continue to do such. I know we got a game coming on, but this is the pregame. So let's like and share that post now. For those that are on YouTube, hit that notification button because we got plenty of heat this month coming for you. So please do that due diligence and go to @TheBroCodeShow. That's our Instagram. And as you see on the screen, go to YM4C Space TV. That's our YouTube. Hit us up. Let us know you care. So any comments, please hit it in the comment section. We'll get to you, let you know we love you, appreciate you, and we'll shout you out on the show, man. So fellas, what's happening, man? How you feeling, Kurt? What's good?
Super Bowl Sunday, man. Now, don't really hit the same when the Cowboys are nowhere close. Like they can't even say Super Bowl in Dallas. But man, all is good, man. Happy to be here.
Indeed, bro. Always good to see you, man.
Well, Kirk, you've had 20 years.
Here comes the hazing. Here comes the hazing. What you got, Jay?
20 years of that feeling of not seeing the Super Bowl or being close in a while. So I mean, you should be used to it. You know, you can buy liquor with that feeling. But no, I feel good, man. It's a good day. I'm still torn. You know, I want Tom Brady to retire, and I feel like the only way he'll do it is if he wins this one.
Yeah,
but I think he's cocky enough to win it and come back. So I don't know. I just want a good game. You know, it would suck to see them lose in front of their fans. But I love seeing Tom Brady cry too. So I don't know where I'm going with it. I don't know where I'm going.
Oh, the memes are going to be ridiculous if we get the cry face, right? You can already see the Michael Jordan tears on him, right? I can dig that, man. I, as a football fan, you know, I'm always going to be for my man Mahoney, man. But I agree with you, Jay. You know, the old man, he's like, yo, I still got it. You know, let me show these young boys what's happening. So, you know, I can dig that, man. And, you know, fellas, as mentors and coaches, you know, we talk about a game. We talk about something that we play for fun, play for money. But as change agents, as mentors, you know, for both youth and adults, it always feels good to offer new opportunities and exposures to those that we serve. You know, I'm sure you guys feel the same way as servant leaders and the youth that we serve with YM4C. And I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for this upcoming event that we have. It's our YM4C Fine Dining event. And this particular event is going to be a workshop that we do on March 30th. It'll be hosted at Second Empire Tavern, which is downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. We'll have a private room educating our youth and our young men on fine dining etiquette in an interactive learning workshop. But what's really exciting is the collaboration. Why? Because the Saturday before that, man, shout out to the big homie, Reggie Winston. You know, Reggie owns the barbershop. Barbershop's over there off New Bern Avenue in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the day before, we'll have an opportunity to treat the kids to manicures, haircuts, a suit, tie, socks, and shoes. And I believe if you look good, you feel better, man. So we always take pride in doing things differently. We are wiring for a C, man. So shout out to the fellas coming through and collaborating, man. Really excited for the things that are come. So, fellas, last month we had the pleasure of connecting with some really dope guests. We spoke with some real high energy, good vibe only type leaders. We talked about some productive and necessary ways to cleanse, heal, and thrive coming into this new season. But I'm curious, man, with all those gems, because we keep a pad and pen on deck, but with all those gems, I want to hear what you guys thought, man. What you think, Jay? What did you think about the conversation last month?
Well, first off, they were both very exciting, energetic individuals, had a ton of information. And, Asha, I felt as if we could have had an audio book, chapter by chapter by chapter, just off of the nuggets that she was dropping. She spent a good amount of time talking about her purpose and how she was kind of living under someone else's identity until she got to what she quoted as her higher self and started really believing in herself. But it wasn't until she decided to take some sort of action to change her life that it happened. They both spoke in pieces about the beauty of finding others to help them down their path. Carl was pretty vocal about how when he saw someone else that he can see himself in and got with the right set of mentors, it was game over. And it was amazing just to see how God focused he is, and ultimately he's a brother who said time and time again that he just wants to reflect that love in all that he does. And so I got a number of things to take away just from hearing them. I listened to it at least 2 or 3 different times, and each time I come away with another set of standards and another set of instructions for me to follow myself. So real proud of them coming on the show, and it was cool to break bread with them for a little while. Indeed. Looking forward to that book, though. Looking forward to getting that book so I could do a little bit more deep dive.
I could dig that. How about you, Kurt, man? What'd you get out of that, bro?
So I got to go with the ladies. And shout out to women empowerment and women in leadership. And Lucinda, let's start with her, man. Like, first of all, her testimony, hearing how low she was, and she was able to climb out of that. But when she said, and it hit me somewhere in here where she said, I just wanted something different for my life. And that's where it starts, right? That's where it starts. When you find that reason why you want to change something in your life, especially when you're in the darkness like she was. And then jumping into Christian, where she said, our true gift is simply being ourselves. And that resonates with me because that's what You Matter is all about. It's about giving people their gift and validation and not having to go outside of who they are and go into that. So hearing those ladies share those things, man, really stuck with me.
Yeah, I can dig that, man. I really can. On part 2 of the conversation, Lucinda, she said something. She said, some will, some won't. Someone is waiting. Now, in the sales business, man, and a person that used to go door to door and was very good at it. Mine was some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Right? So, I really can dig that. But I got that book, y'all. I wanted to let y'all know that I got one for each and every one of y'all. Lucinda sent us The Big Ask, and obviously she talked about one of the ones we had a good time on. So don't be an asshole. Well, it's in the book. So really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. So anyway, I'm curious, Kirk, as a coach, man, as somebody that's really big on understanding your why, who you are as a person, and how important and how powerful and courageous you really are. What's the most common things or topics that has been surrounding in your coaching these days? What are the things that you're seeing over and over again?
I think a lot of it right now is mindset, for sure. And we go right back to that all the time. But a lot of people are just not knowing what they want to do. And so the biggest thing for me, Troy, is always asking, what makes you happy? What is that thing that you really would do for free? Let's tap into that. Let's ask some questions. Let's get them exposed as we do to our kids. Exposure brings comfortability. And when I see more, I might want more. And so that's what stood out to me the most.
I could dig that, man. I dare to say what you're asking, and it's another way of saying it, because sometimes it's so hard for that answer is, what is your purpose? Why are you here? You know, when you talk about doing something for free, that's something you could lose time in. I was speaking to a young man the other day, and I asked him, and that's how I asked him. I said, what is something that you could lose time in? You look up and be like, wow, man, 2-3 hours has already passed. And oftentimes that's piece or portion or segue into things you're passionate about and you may want to move forward with. So anyway, if you're just checking in, man, you're checking in with the Bro Code. We're here with the Rehash, man. We want to take a real quick commercial break. And we come back, we're going to bring on our special guest, Mayor Jacques Gilbert. So it is the Bro Code Show. It's your boy, Bro Troy, and we will be right back.
What's up, sports fans? This is Petey on the streets. Have you heard about the Raleigh Firebirds? If not, you need to check them out at RaleighFirebirds.net. If you haven't got your season tickets yet, go visit RaleighFirebirds.net. Also, you can call or text 919-830-0305. Catch you at the home games at the Dream Center right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Until then, Petey on the streets.
My man, Petey on the streets, man. Shout out to Petey on the streets over with the Raleigh Firebirds, man. So, hey, this month our conversations, we're going to be focusing fellas around the topic relationships, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, with Chew the Fat, you know, with our guest this month, all about things relationships, whether it be tips for marriage, dating, lusting, or loving, and everything in between. Yeah, I see you, Jay. I see you. Calm down. So, as a coach, as a coach, man, one of the things I always remind the youth that we serve is, you know, everything starts with a conversation. Man. You know, where that conversation goes, you don't know. But oftentimes we allow isms, phobias, bias, and sometimes even just pure assumptions from stopping us from having that conversation. You know, and believe it or not, that train of thought became more consistent with me after I got married. You know, conversation plays a huge role. Communication plays a huge role. And lack thereof takes away, rightfully so. You know, marriage put me in a place where communication became paramount. And any lack caused confusion and assumptions. And we already know what assumption is, right? It makes that an ass out of you and me. So everybody's at fault. We both walking around with attitudes and chips on shoulders. You know, tonight we have a special guest who wants to share his experience with community relationships, you know, how it has helped shape the work he does as a public servant, as a person that serves others. You know, tonight we have Mayor Jacques Gilbert. You know, Jacques is a Apex, North Carolina native. You don't hear that too much, right? Like when you hear, you know what I mean? I mean, this needs to be turned into a movie. Like I could just see it right now, you know, I really can, you know, but prior to him holding the position of mayor of Apex, you know, Jacques retired as the captain of the Apex Police Department, graduated high school at Apex. You know, Mayor Gilbert is also the founding president of Blue Light College, which is North Carolina's premier police prep college. You know, fellas, you know, we're going to introduce to some. You know, we love and appreciate him, but help us welcome Mayor Jacques Gilbert. Jacques, what's going on, sir? How you doing, Mayor?
Hey, man, it's all good. Hey, I can't believe I'm on the Bro Code, man.
Yeah.
I feel like a VIP. On a Sunday night when the Super Bowl is on, man, it don't get no better than this. You know what I'm saying?
We got to make it official. You know, we got to show your presidential picture. Let me give you your 5 seconds of fame, brother.
Yeah. And I won't say, you know, Black History Month, we got the first African-American mayor of Apex. So that's big. We're making history through you.
That's right. We need to applaud. All the comments need to go crazy right now. We're making history on Black History. We are Black History. Let's get it. So.
Well, I'm just glad to be here amongst such great young men you guys are doing great things. And we share the same haircut. I love it. You know, it's all good. You know what I mean?
Hey, I told somebody the other day, I think it was Friday, Mayor, I said, you know, hey, all superheroes don't wear capes. Some of them are bald and have beards. You know, so well, some are just bald. My bad.
Good.
But nonetheless, man, it's always good to hear your voice, man. It's always have the opportunity to share space, if you may, with yourself. But I'm curious, for those that don't know, Jacques, for those that maybe have never heard you before, man, who is Jacques Gilbert at the core?
Jacques Gilbert is me, myself, and I, and a guy who the world needs to receive the gift that God has given to me. And there are people out there that need it, just like everyone else that's on this earth. And I'm just a guy trying to illuminate that gift and be the best I can at that. That's who I am.
Yeah, that's it. JC,
I
don't know if you want to follow that, brother, but hey, man, you're more than welcome to try.
Well, we do have a number of different questions for you. We'll be brief. We'll be brief. Now, just to kind of start you off easy, I saw that Apex has this armadillo that they do to see its shadow. I'm real curious about this armadillo. Where did that come from? Why an armadillo? And what about the six more weeks of winter we have coming because of this armadillo?
Oh man, so you guys are, you know what? This is a gift for you because no one else knows this story about this armadillo. So here's the deal. About 3 days before the big day, all right, which was Groundhog Day on Tuesday of this week rather, I contacted my secretary. I was like, hey, I want to do Groundhog Day in Apex for the first time. Can you find me a groundhog? And she said, sure, I can find you a groundhog. So we found a groundhog. We found also a prairie dog. And but we said, you know what? Let's do something different. And this lady had a farm, and she says, how about, you know what? I have this armadillo. And I said, oh, yeah, this is the one. We got to use this armadillo because it was different. And of course, armadillo starts with the letter A. So you had Apex, and her name is Sylvia. So it's Sylvia, the Apex armadillo. And so we just wanted to be unique. We want to be different than any other town or city, around here in North Carolina. So we came up with that, and it was a hit. I got people, texting me, emailing me, and they want to meet Sylvia. Sylvia is not with me right now. She's in a safe place, but that's what it's all about. So we're gonna make that a big thing in Apex.
Okay. All right. Well, we warmed you up. We'll get into some more heavy hitting questions. I know you served in law enforcement for what, 32, just under 30 years?
29 years.
29, and right now serving as mayor. Tell us why community relationships mean so much to you, and how did you become so passionate about service?
Yeah, I think it starts. Let me start with a little bit of my history. As you mentioned, native of Apex, and when I graduated high school, I thought I was destined on a path to become an NBA basketball player. Although I got cut every year at the high school level, so I wanted to be another field forward. Number 12, the Tar Heels, but it just didn't work out. So I went to read water meters for the town of Cary for a couple of years, and my dad got me that job, and it just wasn't fulfilling for me. And it was only until a young man named Phil Howard, who was a Raleigh police officer, he was sharing with me the great things he was doing in Raleigh about building relationships and really being involved in the community and making a difference. I knew that I always wanted to help people. I know that's what most police officers say, but I knew I wanted to do it differently in my hometown, in a community where there was a lot going on, and you know what I mean. And a lot of my family was involved with that. So I knew that in order to be able to do that effectively and become a police, I had to build relationships because I had to gain the trust of the people, not only in my community, but outside of my community. And at the time, that community was a lot different. Being an African-American male coming out of that community, becoming a police was a big deal. So I knew I had to do that to be successful. And I just found that, as you mentioned before, having conversations really, it reveals a lot. And sometimes people just don't understand. And you said it before also, that you have to become comfortable to talk about uncomfortable things. And that's worked out well for me. And just took that from police side into the mayoral position, and it's worked out well.
So, Jacques, I'm supposed to ask you a serious question. Before I do that, I have to know. I was on your social media, and man, you got to be the best dressed mayor on the street. I'm like, y'all see the shoe game. I see it, Troy. I see it, man. Like, we don't need some tips.
Hey, with the ankles out. Did you see the one with the ankles out, though? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jacques. Jacques, when he took the ankles out, I said, man, look, man, just give him the mayor. Why? How could you even come? I love it.
They wasn't ready for it. But on a serious note, though, as an effective leader, having a pure heart is something that's truly, I think, invaluable. And in an article you mentioned in Suburban Living, you talked about how you wanted to have a pure heart and you wanted to connect with people through your words and you wanted them to feel that. Can you talk to the importance of having a pure heart, especially coming from law enforcement and now moving into politics as a leader?
Yes. I've always been, as a police officer, I believe it's all about compassionate policing. And, I try to approach every situation to where I was entering into an environment, a problem solving, I guess it would have been a project, I called it, where I was really contacting someone's mother, father, sister, brother, grandmother. And that's how I approached it. And only that way I made it personal and tried to look at it. How would I want that individual to be treated if that was my, mother, father, sister, brother? So that compassion was always big for me. And with that, it's all about the heart to serve people. I've always looked at the service in policing and then carried over to the mayor. And I never wanted to change that. A title is a title. I wanted people to see Jacques Gilbert, the man with the heart. And I believe when you do that, people respond to you better. I know they do because that's what they're looking for. We often heard, the saying that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And how God looks, man looks at outward appearance and God looks at the heart. And so everybody's looking for something. People get involved in situations they don't intend to get into. And we have to, look at that empathy and compassion as we move on. And that doesn't stop again at the police level. I wanted to take that into the mayor role and continue to do that.
Absolutely. If you're just checking in, you're here with the Bro Code Show. It's the pregame. We're getting ready for the big game, guys. And we have the mayor, Jacques Gilbert, mayor of Apex, North Carolina. So, Mayor, I know you're the president of Blue Lights College. For those that don't know, Blue Lights College, the link is on the screen. Please take a look. I want you to talk more about that. What's the driving force behind creating Blue Lights College? And how did Blue Lights College prepare its students to positively impact the community?
Man, it's just like what you guys are doing. You're building bridges, and that's what we wanted to be. And recognizing the need, I just saw an opportunity, a project, a problem-solving opportunity to unify and bring community and police together. And that's something I work diligently at with Apex Police Department. Try to work on that in many different ways and unique ways, unprecedented ways. And it only came as a vision, and this is really interesting. So the number one or the best football team in the NFL, I was watching one Sunday. So we all know who that is. Does anybody know who that is?
I'm curious. I know who it's not, but I don't know.
Wait a minute. I want to hear that. Who do you think?
we know it's not the Dallas Cowgirls.
Not the Dallas Cowgirls. No, it's not.
Okay. All right.
Okay. It's the Carolina Panthers, of course. So anyways, yeah, I see the look, Bro Smith. I see you. But anyways, Bro Smith, you got me. But so Cam Newton scored a touchdown, and it was just a normal Sunday in Charlotte, and the crowd went wild. And what I noticed, though, was diversity in the crowd and how everybody was just cheering for this young man who scored this touchdown. And nothing else mattered at that time except for that touchdown. And then I just looked at it as like, wow, athletics is really a unifier. It is really a language that everyone can connect to. I mean, they can really understand and make it a centerpiece and everybody come together. So before that, I was already training young men and women to look at law enforcement, look at policing as a viable profession, something that you could really get into and make a real difference. And I had this curriculum, 7-week course, and I was actually arming young people with compassion before they went into the BLET program. And it was really working out, but I noticed something that I really wasn't completely sold on. And I wanted to see more people. I wanted to see more diversity. I want to see more young African-American men and Latinx and a lot of people to come in there that we normally didn't see in the police field. And most of the BLET programs, a lot of people enter those programs and they're not prepared And so it's a really quick exit because they're not mentally, physically prepared. So I wanted to make that change. So I decided to just build a 2-year curriculum and give it a collegiate environment, and went to the state of North Carolina, got it approved, and we built Blue Lights College. We're 4 years old now. And I believe why it's so different is because we made a focus on young men and women who didn't want to go to a traditional college or university or even the military. We want to do something different and say, here's an opportunity for you to run your race in a different way. Now, what I thought would be the big deal in Apex and Cary and the Triangle area, we thought we were going to attract a lot of people right around here. It didn't happen that way. No one believed in it. They're like, I don't know. This is not anything we've seen before. But it did attract people from outside of the area, Ohio, New York, Atlanta, many different parts of the country. And it took off. The athletics was a way to attract, but they also received that curriculum of compassionate policing. And our mission is training a new generation of police officers to approach conflict with compassion. And we believe that we have a viable solution here at Apex that could spread out throughout the nation and really become that gap, if you will, from 18 years of age to 20, to where, unfortunately, young men and women have a lot of time where they are not focused on anything. Well, here's another option, and they can get involved with policing and make a difference out there, a true change in our nation.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a great segue into our next question, gentlemen. How important of a role does listening and understanding play in relationship building? Oftentimes we say, and you hear this all the time, we should listen to understand, not to respond. And sometimes that can be easier said than done, especially when emotions get involved, tempers get involved. We're built for it tough, but we could be driven by our emotions. So, how many of us really practice that skill? Listen, Grandma used to say 2 ears, 1 mouth. By design, we should listen more than we speak. My mentor used to always remind me that knowledge is knowing what to say, but wisdom is knowing when to say it. I was watching, obviously, I got a couple kids, 3 of them working on another one. That blessing just hasn't happened just yet, but it's not from lack of practice. With that being said, I was watching a Disney movie with the kids, y'all, and I saw this scene that really speaks directly to that community relationship you talk about, Mayor, and the conversation that we're leading into when it comes to the surrounding relationships. I'm going to play the clip, but when it's done, man, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts.
I thought Zootopia was this perfect place where everyone got along and anyone could be anything. Turns out, real life's a little bit more complicated than a slogan on a bumper sticker. Real life is messy. We all have limitations. We all make mistakes, which means, hey, glass half full, we all have a lot in common. And the more we try to understand one another, the more exceptional each of us will be. But we have to try. So no matter what type of animal you are, from the biggest elephant to our first fox, I implore you, try. Try to make the world a better place. Look inside yourself and recognize that change starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with all of us.
I'm curious, Mayor Gilbert, man, when you obviously we saw that was a cartoon film called Zootopia. Anyone's never seen that Disney film before, please. It was pretty fun, but curious, man, what'd you think of that?
Man, that tells it says it all. And I think everyone needs to understand that they can be the change they want to see. And that's certainly something that we really focus on at Blue Lights College. Something I try to also empower people with as a leader back when I was in the police department, as well as now in the mayor's seat. But it's more important now that people get involved and they become part of that change. And that's what's been lacking. So I've always tried to reach out to the next gens to be a part of that change. So, which is why I love what y'all are doing, because I watch it, believe it or not, from Apex, North Carolina, the great things you're doing. So one day I'm gonna give you a key to the city. It's gonna come. You'll see. But but I really like that. And if we could really get everyone in that mindset, we could make real change in our nation. So that's what I see.
Man, you said Kirk's favorite word.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it like everybody else. You can do it the way you were designed to, who you're designed to be, and how it was given to you. So I love that too.
We do differently. Right. We walk in that boldly. But you said Kirk's favorite word. You said mindset. So I see your wheels turning there, brother. What you got?
No, that clip just stands out, man, because it talks about how messy life is, how much we're so much alike. If we just would look for the things that don't separate us versus what brings us closer, life is really simple. You know, we're not our mistakes. Let's try and find the commonality and keep it moving like that, man. That's really how I see it, Troy.
I can dig it, man. Last but not least, take us home, bro Smith. What you got there, man? Come on.
I mean, with the video, the one thing that kind of stood out to me, and Mayor was talking about it as far as getting a diverse group of recruits coming through. You know, that's all you saw within that video. There were foxes and rabbits and all sorts of things, but they all recognized that they each had the power to make change. And regardless of what you look like, where you come from, your background, change. What is it? Change is initiated when change is off. Finish that. It's on the tip of.
Oh man, that's our credo, man. Change is initiated when change is acknowledged.
That's it. I couldn't get that last word. Thank you. But that's kind of what came back to me. Was that credo, that motto, and you know, if the police force and all of us, you know, can embody that, I think it'd be a much better world to live in.
So, Mayor Gilbert, outside of your stellar police work, you being the mayor, there's one thing we haven't talked about. And just going on your social media, we can see how proud you are of your family. Mm-hmm. You've been married over 25 years. Yes. How does that come into play with you being a successful man?
Wow. Oh, man. Understanding this, that every day is a learning experience. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today without the support of my wife, Mishara, and of course my beautiful kids who have been very patient to allow me to be out there serving the people. You know, it's good when you connect with someone who can see your vision and they say, I want to help you, but you know, to reach that. And I know those are special relationships, but also I know that my wife has a role in that, and I respect her and what she wants to do. She always says, you go do what you do. I'm not a person out there in the front, but I'm going to be behind you, you know, just rally you on and giving you the space that you need to get things done. But she is in control. I want y'all to know that. No shame in my game. My wife is in control. But you know, and I love my family, and I will continue to make sure that they're taken care of, and people know that they're part of, you know, my success. And I got to shout out my daughter, Calabria. Calabria was my campaign manager. She told me from the start that, you know, she's going to make sure that I run unopposed. And I said, there's no way, not in Apex. And she says, watch. And it happened. So she's a very bright, you know, young lady. She knows what she's doing. And she handles all my communication. So the stuff you see on social media, I just tell her what I want to do, and she finds a way to get it out.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, we always, in those same lines, sir, you had a pleasure of watching your daughter get married the last part of last year, right? I'm sure that was a special moment for you. You know, you were looking quite dapper too. You were looking quite dapper, you know, but you know, what are some of the words of wisdom you may have passed on to, you know, the newly married couple? You know, what are some things you may have shared just from your experience? We're talking about you and your wife just recently also celebrated 25 years of love, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, how speak to that for me?
Yeah, that's good, bro, Troy. So a week before they actually did it, because they got married on December 5th, we were sitting at a dinner table. It was just me, Calabria, and Joshua. And I said, so tell me, what are y'all taking into the marriage? And they gave me their input. And then my daughter says, Calabria says, Well, I've watched y'all for 24 years, and I know what not to do and what to do. So she's received a lot of training, and no, I just told them, understand that it's one day at a time, and you learn from each other, and just listen and listen and listen more. So, and that was it. I said, if you can do that, and for us, it was keep God in the center, and you will be fine.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yep.
Jacques, I don't want to belay time, man. I'm curious though, when people want to connect with you, if they want to have a conversation with the mayor, you know, for those people that are listening, and we'll bring that picture up again too. But how would you want them to get connected with you? Is there any special platforms you want to shout out?
Yes, I am very accessible, and I'm a retired man, so I have more time to do things as a mayor. But I want people to know that the mayor is just, it's an assignment. I'm still Jacques. The mayor has to be a part of me, not me being, part of the mayor. I want people to know that. So they still got the same Jacques Gilbert. I have my social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They can send me a private message there, or just reach out to me by cell phone. I give out my cell phone all the time, 919-522-9823. It's on our website for the town of Apex. So I want to hear from people. I'm really interested in the next generation. I want them to be empowered, and because I know at some point I'm going to have to pass the baton off. So I want them to be a part of what we're doing in Apex to make real change. And there's a lot to do. And I want to say that what we're doing is not going to make a lot of people happy, but I know it's the right thing to do. And that's the direction we're going.
Always a pleasure to have you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We have the mayor of Apex, North Carolina, the man, the myth, and the legend, Jacques Gilbert, man. Jacques, Mr. Mayor, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for sharing the space, man. Go get some of that good food, man. Who you rooting for, man? Who's winning? Who's going to win tonight?
Oh, that's easy. Patrick Mahomes, come on.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I just wanted to make sure.
We rooting for the Chiefs, man. I love it. So, nonetheless, man, you take care, sir. You have a good one.
All right. Have fun. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure, brother. Take care. Fellas, I'm excited about this month's topic of conversation, man. This month is all about relationships. Obviously the good, the bad, and the ugly. Part one of the conversation, we're going to have a special, like all the guests are special, but I mean, sometimes I get a little excited. I was talking to Bro Kirk about this early, man. For this month, the first one, obviously it's going to be the Valentines Day Special. Get your boo thing. Get on YouTube. We have Keith Dent. He's a relationship coach and author, but we also have Meg Cohen. Now, this is our first international guest. So PreGame. We'll be here in Raleigh, North Carolina, but Meg is from New Zealand. So it'll be 6 p.m. Sunday here, but it'll be noon on Monday. So she's going to see in the future for us. But Meg is an intimacy coach. She'll have some sex tips. We'll also have some sexy tips right here on time for Valentine's Day. So set your alarm, Siri. Look, Mr. JC got excited about that one, boy. I promise you, man. Set your alarm, Siri, Alexa, Google Home for next Sunday, February the 14th, Valentine's Day Special at 6 p.m. Be live on Facebook, YN4C, and our YouTube channel, YN4C TV. So, as always, man, appreciate the dope night. It was really awesome getting a chance to chop it up with the fellas. I obviously talking to Mayor Gilbert as well. We also thank the listeners and supporters. We wanted to make this one real quick pregame, have some fun, be safe, eat some good food, and be around some good people, man. Good vibes only. Go Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, we always want to leave the people with some good vibes. So got a quote for y'all, man. It says, find a heart that will love you at your worst and arms that will hold you at your weakest. As always, it's your boy, Bro Troy, a.k.a. Mr. YN4C. Holla at y'all later. Peace.